Hello again. So this is part 2 in a series of videos I'm going to be doing to just give a gameplay demo of Codename Eureka. See here for a link to the first video if you've missed it. I've started with a new map just so that I could process the video, upload the other one. So I've kind of set things up the way we left off the last time. A slight difference is that instead of trying to hunt down iron, I'm now trying to hunt down copper. It's a little bit out of my communications range. I've set up a mine over here, which is going to be mining aluminium and iron. So since I'm only concentrating on aluminium and iron, I can concentrate on this copper here, which I want to get to. I've set up a little bit of a, I think he's down here somewhere. Where are you? There you are. So this is the dozer, which is going to set up the spot for my communications array. I've set up building an agri-dome as we had before. I'm going to start building that later, and I'm just going to, while I'm here, do some other stuff. Maybe there. So I'm just kind of getting to where we were last time. Set up the agri-dome, ore processor, and wind farm. So what we're going to be looking at in this video is setting up that communication tower and looking at the statistics, which you can use to kind of figure out what you need to do next in the game. So he's building the communications tower, and that should get me into range of the copper. You'll see in a second, but comm arrays have a longer range than the lander itself. The lander has its own communications equipment, which is shorter range than a dedicated communications array. If we go into ground, you can see the cavern that I'm building here. So I have some dozers free now. I'm going to use them, prepare some of this terrain here before diving into what we're going to be doing with the statistics. So my lander landed, my population arrived. I'm on the 3rd week that I've been on the planet, and apart from research, the kind of guide that we're going to be developing, and the messages which are sent to you to tell you what you should be doing next, etc. So these are colony members who will send you messages. I'm just going to look at the stats here. This is your stats overview. It gives you basically a numerical layout as to what is happening with your population. So we can see here there's 3 different populations in Codename Eureka. The story, I mean, I can go through the story a bit later on in another video, but very quickly, it's that a billionaire, considering that various groups on Earth are getting a bit of a hard rap, decides to save them by setting up, or trying to set up, a utopian colony on Gliese 581d, which is a planet which is some distance away. So these 3 populations are the tossers. So these are the Terran open source software supporters. So these are kind of the MacGyvers of the colony. They are people who are into making, they're makers, they are really into open source. The hipsties, in 1968 we had hippies. Now in 2012 to 2018 we have hipsters. So in 2068 we could possibly, looking at how things skip generations, have hipsties. These are kind of people who don't really like the way technology is going. They don't appreciate the encroachment of technology on private life, on agriculture, on things like this. So these are kind of your stoned, organic, kind of, you know, hippies mixed with hipsters. RTs are artificial life forms. They are robots who are intelligent but not necessarily recognized as such on Earth. So they kind of joined the group as well. We have 50 of each. They don't really get along that well. The Tossers want to open source the brains of the Arties, but the Arties, they don't really like that idea. The Arties, being artificial, don't really make the Hipsties that comfortable. The Hipsties, always trying to mess things up with regards to technology, don't really make the Tossers nor the Arties that happy either. So all three of these populations are in constant kind of strife amongst each other. And your job as the colony manager is to get this bag of cats cooperating in order to create a successful colony. You also see that we have housing, currently nothing because we haven't built any habitats, which means that the entire population is homeless. Crime is at 0, but that's just because I haven't really done a lot of the mechanics in the game too much, but that's going to become quite important in later versions of the game. We can see the satisfaction rates, so how happy are the people. They've just arrived, so they were at 50%, so they're kind of so-so. But as food runs out, the housing situation gets worse, the cramped conditions, this will affect morale. We can also see how much energy we have, food stores, and storage capacity. There's tabs along here. These show different statistics. I'm going to pop to resources first. Resources, you have ore, so we already have some ore coming in. As soon as our ore processor has booted up, it's going to start turning that ore into processed ore, and that's what we use to build things. Going to population now, we have these statistics which are shown. We can see the homelessness. Well, there's no housing, so that pie chart is currently pretty bad looking. We also have the population. We only see the Arty here because they're drawn last, but actually there's 3 lines there. As the population size starts to diverge, you'll see those lines start to separate. We can always see the total up here. The satisfaction rates, so the morale of the colony, that's also a similar story. We'll see these lines separate in a little while. Looking at the systems which aren't available, energy surplus, well, that's gone down because we've built some buildings. The lander already has some energy generation within it, so that's what's providing our first 100 or so units of energy. But we need to build wind farms to get this up because the ore processor especially uses a lot of energy, so we need that. By the way, all these colors may change. It's just I needed something that was easy to see. Here we have the storage that's available, resources, so how much of our storage is being taken up by resources and how much is being taken up by food. We can see here a line graph of what's happening to our food surplus because we're not producing any. I'm just going to shift the map so that we can see the state of things, maybe down here so we can see everything. So I'm going to advance a turn and you're going to see what happens to both the food surplus and also to this pie chart. It should change a little. Food, which is currently black, should reduce when we advance a turn. Well, that worked. So our wind generator just came online, which boosted our energy surplus here just in time because that ore processor is coming online in 2 weeks. So we have again a look at our morale. We can see the morale is starting to separate there. So the Hipsties, they get a boost from clean air, from the wind generator especially, because that's clean energy. When this digger is done, we'll start to see the change in homelessness. I'm going to advance a few turns. I have a dozer free here. I'm going to go into ground. Okay, so that's not ready yet. We will build here. So I'm going to start digging another air shaft. Can't have too many of those. So we can see I'll be able to link these up later by using a cavern digger. So the expand cavern, it uses up diggers as well. You can see these counters tell you how many robots are free for work. So I can use one of my diggers to expand the cavern. In the meantime, anything else I want to build here? Well, I may as well start getting ready for communication. But what we have here now, I want to just find, that's just calcium. I'll zoom out. And there's our copper. So I'll just place a mine on that copper. And if we have a look back at the colony, advance a turn or two, our agridome has just come online. So you can see that there, go underground. And now I can start preparing underground, which I'll do in another video.